Hey everybody, this is Grace. I thought I'd come out here and make a video on something that has been bothering me. And I saw it again a couple, I don't know, 2 or 3 days ago or so. And it's on video. And I know this is kind of like a habit for a lot of people. And various people do it for various reasons, I'm sure. But it's about when people make videos on a particular topic. I'm going to use food delivery services again. I've done it on other ones too in the past, but they show a how-to kind of thing in their video, or what they've learned new. They might even show the actual email or whatever that shows that this has changed and that's changed. And then they go through all that, but all along they'll say, but at the end of this, closer to the end, I'm going to tell you about, and they hint at something, like there's some kind of conspiracy going on. And then they deliver. You know, they go through all this of showing actual proof. Here it is. Here's where you can find it. This is the email. This was the whatever. And what it says, it's right there. But then they go, full conspiracy theorist. You know, now the reason why they do that kind of thing. Okay, and like I said, there are various reasons why people will do that. Now me, my degrees are in psychology and sociology, so I'm a social and behavioral scientist. So of course, I was a career student over 20 years. So of course, I'm going to be looking, trained in research. I'm going to be trying to understand why. Okay, and that's been my biggest question since I was a kid. Why? Why? Why is that? Why? Some of the things I heard when I was a kid. Yeah, you might be one to go, why? Also. And believe it or not, some people are trying to bring those back. The things I heard as a kid, as a conspiracy theory, and bring them back now. What a shame. What a waste of time. People just didn't learn enough. But anyway. But so I'm going to do that. That is just not going to not happen. It's going to happen. I'm going to say, why would this person be doing this? What do they have to gain from it? What in their social world is the reason, adds to it? Social dynamics, this to this to this to this. And try to figure it out. And I'm also going to say, and I could be wrong. Okay, yeah. Now that's not something I hear too often in people who could become these conspiracy theorists and say, like, these delivery apps, whether it's food, groceries, whatever kind of deliveries. You know, there are all kinds of deliveries people do. But I never hear them say, I could be wrong, or this is just my thought, or there are other reasons. No, they say they know for sure this is what is going on. You know, we all do this at some point, especially even just for survival reasons. We do it on various topics, but we don't put them all out there and say it as though they are I'm an expert on this. I'm a voice of authority. I'm a voice of authority. You know, I'm a social and behavioral scientist, like I just said. I am a voice of authority. Over 20 years, come on. Yeah. Sorry, I keep cutting this off and on, but the pollen is very high. Of course, I have allergies. But anyway, yeah, I am a voice of authority because I did do the work. I studied, and I didn't live in some kind of vacuum, where it was just all school. I didn't do anything outside of it. Never in my life. You know, some people will try to say that in different things that I've talked about. You know, like people who have narcissistic behavior, especially histrionic. I've seen that so many times in my life. You know, toxic people, just all around toxic people. And they'll say, you know, some will make videos and say, well, I experienced it, so therefore I know better than the people who actually attended university and earned the degrees. No, you don't. Plain and simple. Wrong. But anyway, yeah. Oh my goodness. But some of these things, but to get back to this conspiracy theory, I get it. I mean, I have watched people I do these deliveries myself for health insurance, affordable care. I live in Texas. I'll leave it there. And I have to, from what I understand, very short version is I have to be working. I couldn't just pay for it outright. And that's what I wanted to do, just pay for it. Nope, have to do it this way. So I'm doing these food deliveries because of my health. I can go home if I need to. And so I've been doing them too, but I had been watching the videos because it's kind of interesting to watch them. All the different places they go to. What better world, for someone who's a social and behavioral scientist to be able to see where all these people are going and the people, the places, all that, wherever they live. I live in Texas. I've lived in several states, but I was born and raised in Texas, and I live in north of Dallas right now, and I see I've seen a lot, but I like to see what other places are like, and then how they deal with what the restaurants there do, what this or that do, how that's different for them. Do they make more money? Why is it they make more money or less money? This kind of thing. Okay, like something like that. I'm going to watch. I live in Texas, like I said, north of Dallas. I live in Collin County. It's the second most wealthiest county in Texas. And if you go by a certain size, it would be number one. For a large population. If you go by population, it would be the number one is kind of a small county. So, in other words, but we still, this is Texas. We don't earn as much as, I'm sorry, I'm being distracted right now. We don't earn as much as in some of these other states. I am amazed when I see some of these people, they talk about they make 100, 100, or some of them 200, 250, maybe even 300 a day. And I'm like, really? I don't think that's possible here. Really, I don't. I mean, it would have to be something like they're doing all catering jobs or something. I haven't seen a catering job, so I don't know. And I started doing this in 2023. It's 2025 now, March 27th, actually. So, 2025. And I haven't yet to see one. I mean, I haven't been doing all that because of my health and everything. But anyway, I mean, I can see, that's what I like to see. That's why I watch. But a lot of people, I have noticed over the years, a lot of people like to watch because, like, they're disgruntled themselves. And they want that, to see that they're not the only person that's going through this crap with their app. Their app always messes up this, that. This one, some of them want to get a little bit of education. These people generally, I don't know any of them that actually work for those, they actually, that's their job is to make these videos. Nope. They're just people who know they can make some money off of it. And some can. Some can't. So, some don't want to. It's not their focus. But, some people, they want that to where they see people getting all angry and saying all these conspiracy theories and, oh, this one is doing this, this food delivery, restaurant delivery place. Oh, they don't tell you this or they don't tell you that because then they can't, and then they go on and on and on. Oh, conspiracy theory. There's these conspiracies against us. Now, I'm not saying that they're not right. Seriously, I've done it. I've sat there and I'm going, this is, like the one that has a separate, what would it be called? It was a website or something of what they can, what you're signing over when you sign their terms and all this stuff, do the contract and everything. And in it says that they have access to everything about you. I could not find any other thing that they say that they didn't have. Wait, by signing it, you were handing over to them access to pretty much everything about you. Everything. Your bank account, your signature, your health insurance. I mean, your not health insurance, your health. Your medical records. All this stuff. You were just signing it over to them. I did not sign it. Say, oh no, not happening. Now, I don't know if the other one might have some other web page that, you know, has this on there, and why would it be separate? And what's going on there? Was it applied to that first one? Was it applied later? And say, hey, look, we always had it up here. You know, I can go there. Conspiracies. You know, think about it. Why would they? Of course, why would they? And then I can't find it anymore. Why would I not be able to? You see, I mean, it's so easy to get wrapped up into that. Though we've become, you know, with social media. I was one of the pioneer women in social media. And I had my first computer in 1982. Okay, and boy, what I've seen since then, my goodness. But it's just worsened, because so many people will come up with so many thoughts, and they won't say, and I could be wrong, I think mine actually says it in the description. If not, I've always had it there. You know, these are my opinions, and I could be wrong. So I'm thinking it's still there. I haven't changed them in I don't know how many years. So, but anyway, but like I said, I don't see that too often. Other people, they want to be thought of as a voice of authority, so they just say it as though they are one. No, that's their view. That's their way of seeing the world. They're a voice of authority on their own voice of authority, their own voice, their own views. But that doesn't make them know everything. Even if they worked for 10 years, I don't even think they've been around for 10 years, I don't know. But if they've worked for 10 years, does that make them know everything about it? No. And to say that they know what is in the mind of the, what would it be, CEOs or whatever. I had to pause there for a bit. School's already let out, but buses still come by. Anyway, so where was I? But yeah, you know, like I was talking about, these conspiracy theories, some of them can get really bad. It's like, you know, why would a person want to work when everything's going to be to where it starts to lean toward just paranoia? And no, that probably is not going to be the case, you know, whatever I'm saying, you know, whatever they're saying. No, I don't see it that way. No. Why would they do that? That's, you know, you see what I'm saying? That it would not even make any logical sense. So many people are going on this common sense. Common sense is just common. It's whatever that group that you're in thinks is common. And that makes it, therefore, right? Since when? No, let's talk in logical sense here. Now think of those terms. Think of something that's actually been thought about, not just, oh, conspiracy. Oh, they're doing this. I've seen that too many times, and too many people, they get real deep into it. You know, if the audience says that they like that and everything, oh, they're going to do it every time. I've seen this. I've watched them for years now. And not just this genre. It's something that happens in various genres. I had my first channel, which I don't use very much. August was 10 years. Okay, so yeah, that's been a while. And that's me making videos. I've had YouTube, yeah, a YouTube channel. I don't know, it goes far back. It's like Facebook, when it first came out and available to public. I had an account. We were a bunch of, it was a dirty 4-letter word, geek. And like I said, I was a pioneer woman way back when. So, yeah. Heard so many conspiracy theories. You know, it's not even funny. But I think a lot of it, the reason why, you know, here is one. I think a lot of the reason why people put out there is because other people can relate. And those who know how to make the money off of it do. Money's a great motivator for some people to say and do, even though that, you know, this whole thing, that's what I was talking about, is when they say, like, they know why the delivery company, you know, the ones that, you know, do Groceries, just groceries. Oh, they know why they're doing this. No, you don't. Have you actually had a discussion with any of the, whomever it is that makes that policy for whatever it is? Have you ever actually had a discussion with them? How do you know what they're thinking? Or are you trained in it to understand, human behavior, or why why the contracts would say this or that? Or have you seen the contracts? Seriously, that just was so weird to me. Oh man, but no, just say, oh, I know that they're doing it for this and that reason. No, you don't really know. It's just your view, and your view can be wrong. So anyway, it's going to start getting busy. It's 4:18. Rush hour around here starts around 4. Actually, I think it starts when schools start letting out, and that's before 3. So anyway, I'll talk to y'all in another video.